Probably really loud. Still working out the microphone and all of that good stuff. It's raw and it's real and it's right now. Hi guys. Thank you so much for tuning into my podcast, Annoyingly Positive. So far we have a few episodes on there. Still moving and grooving, working to add to it. However, the difference between me and some other people is I'm only going to throw things on there that I truly feel passionate about and feel like I have something to say. I'm not going to throw episodes out there just to make sure I have one every day type thing. So if you're cool with that, welcome aboard. Let's ride. Now, one thing that I want to talk about is being an individual and owning that and definitely just finding power within that. So it's funny, I was looking at something the other day and I was reading it on a social media platform, shocker. And on there, they were explaining how somebody made a remark about them and if they were actually in a situation where they were forced to listen to them, they would do something astronomical, like jump out of the window or something crazy like that. Now, this person obviously did not get offended by that. They just thought it was funny and funny enough to share just because deep down, that just means that they don't understand them. So they feel like saying something negative and nasty. However, I doubt that strong-minded individual actually let that situation water down her juice. So I'm sure she didn't let that negative comment water down her juice moving forward. She probably just listened to it and then found a positive thing to pull from it, which is some content, which is actually working because I looked at it and I thought, and I wrote down some notes and I started writing after that because I feel like it connects with a lot of our lives, right? If you're a little bit against the grain or you kind of push the envelope, then sometimes people feel a little bit more open and honest when it comes to a negative feedback. Just because you don't understand someone, that ain't gotta mean you gotta be rude now. You know what I'm saying? It's like another corny thing that I always say is, oh, we're all snowflakes. We're all different. Ironically enough, it's freaking snowing. Not currently, but in Iowa we do have snow. It touched down last night, so we woke up to it, and the trees are still golden orange, red, and rusty looking, and it's awesome, but they're just covered with snow caps. The beauty behind it is that typically when snow hits in this area, it's after everything is dead and gone, so it's like, even when the sun's out, it's still kind of gloomy, I don't want to go outside, and sludgy, and nasty, and gross, right? Kind of get you in a negative space, easy to do. Weather does affect our moods if we let it. Now, like I said, bringing back the beauty of it is how this is a little different than typical snow days is that with the trees still having the leaves on them, it's so bright and it's so beautiful outside. And when the sun hits it with the snow on top of it, it makes it that much more awesome. So when it comes to you, and I talked earlier about going through different seasons, but when it comes to you being different or standing out from a crowd, you definitely cannot allow anyone to water down your juice. You got to shine bright, you got to shine on, and you have to push forward, and you have to own it. And once you own it, truly own it, ooh, you're going to be a force to be reckoned with, y'all. Yeah, you'll feel the power behind it. Then your confidence is so matter of fact that it doesn't matter who says what about anything. You're not going to crawl up in a ball, or you're not going to stop posting content, or you're not going to stop connecting with people or speaking your mind. You're going to probably do something similar to this other individual, like turn the whole mother thing into a positive and post a piece of content to help people understand that they're not alone, right? That a lot of people deal with that. And it's so cool because we live in an environment where we're able to do that, and you can get feedback from people that lets you know that you're doing the right thing. So everyone doesn't have to agree with you. Everyone doesn't have to understand you. Jeez, that's the biggest freaking thing is the understanding part. It's like a lot of people, especially in the area that I live in, it's like if they don't understand you, you're an alien. They look at you with their nose turned up. And it's like, you don't have to understand me. You don't even have to like me. That doesn't mean you can't enjoy me. I feel that way about a lot of people too. There's some people that I just love to watch their shit. Like I'll be sitting there and I just got done saying, I can't stand this person's voice. They always say that shit and it doesn't even make sense. They think it makes sense, but in this scenario, it definitely doesn't. It's not relevant, but that's always their go-to, and they always say the same thing. I can't stand that person, right? It doesn't mean that I can't enjoy them. I still enjoy a lot of people that I don't see eye to eye with. I still watch their videos. I still pull out little bits of knowledge from it, just because they remind me a little bit of my grandpa sometimes, and it's like, ugh, heard that before. Oh, I knew they were going to say some shit like that. It doesn't mean that I still don't support it or I can't find some type of value from it. So I think that's the biggest thing with when you are thinking about posting content, or even if it's not even thing on that level, it's just feeling confident enough to speak your opinion in a meeting. You should understand that you're in the meeting for a reason. And even if the whole table gives you that rubberneck turn, what? Huh? Say, what? Type of look. You have to understand that that's okay. And that if what you're saying isn't being, received the correct way, it doesn't mean that your value still wasn't there to say it. It doesn't mean that you still don't have the right to say it. And if you say it and you're not very confident, bringing back the whole powerhouse thing and the whole owning it thing, then it's not really going to hold a lot of water with yourself. And if everybody else isn't swimming in the same waters as you and they're not vibing with you, no worries. If you are confident and you owned it and you stand by what you say and what you believe in that meeting, in that scenario, or in that piece of content, and that's the only thing that truly matters. You don't need a ton of people liking you, following you, all that stuff. You don't need a pat on the back, atta girl, atta baby. You don't need a bam, smack on the ass, good game. You don't need it. You just have to know what you're doing. Definitely has the right intent behind it. And it's truly you. And you're the snowflake that always does it this way. Now, coming back to the whole don't water down someone's juice. Some people, if you're like me, we're pretty opinionated. So I know that is a pro and a con for me. So as a person that does look at a lot of different pieces of content and dissects content, and I don't always talk about other people's content, I like to keep it mostly to myself because I can only speak to myself and for myself, But when I'm dissecting other people's content and articles that they're writing and putting out there for people to read and gain knowledge from, that's one thing that I always like to take a peek at is I like to make sure that it's genuine and that it aligns with all their other content. If it's just some bullshit because they needed to get the content out and they put 6 pieces of content a day because so-and-so says that's how you get, a big following and that's how you become a true influencer or whatever the fuck people say. That's the type of thing that I like to look at when I dissect people's stuff online. Now, when we're not watering down other people's stuff, we can find a bunch of value from it. So when I am looking at everybody else's stuff, since I am a very opinionated person, like I was saying, if I don't agree with their content, I don't post about it. If I don't agree with their content, I don't throw a comment on it. If I don't agree with their content, I don't even message them about it. I scroll right along and I don't water down their juice. Because at the end of the day, just because it didn't resonate with me or just because it didn't align with my thoughts and my views and what the hell I care about, that doesn't mean that I'm going to shit on everyone else's parade and shit on their shine because they very, very, much might just be hitting it straight home with another individual. And who am I to mess that up or water down their juice? I'm just Allie. I don't have that right. And who gives a shit if I agree or not when there are millions and billions and billions and billions of people out there? Like, somebody's going to care. That somebody ain't got to be me, and that somebody ain't got to be you. So play nice. But yeah, that's the cool part of finding the positive out of every situation and being committed to that type of journey. And trust me, my life has forced me into it. I don't own any rights to that music. I just really think that song is awesome. And it gets me pumped up and I feel alive. So, as you probably noticed already, I have random outbursts of music or different music options or just little noises and things like that. Because when I get excited, I like to dance. And when I get excited, I like to talk about it. I like to move and I like to groove. So, I was blessed with a lot of energy. Thank you, baby Jesus. So that's just me. If you don't like that, you probably shouldn't tune into this podcast. But if you do, thank you for tuning in. So when people are in the position of being vulnerable and putting their content out there, play nice and don't let anybody water down your juice. That is the conclusion of the day, because everybody's different and somebody is going to resonate with somebody, and we're all here to vibe. It just always isn't going to vibe in your direction. It doesn't mean you should kill it for somebody who may be a little bit more vulnerable to different people's opinions, because they might have liked it. And if they see your comment, they're like, oh, so-and-so doesn't like, oh, their content sucks. Or, well, oh man, I shouldn't have liked that. Maybe people will look at me differently if I'm liking that type of content. And I don't think that's what it's about. I think it's more of like a free-spirited, free type of thinking and vibing type of community. I'm all the way around. And so if you're doing that and you're being true to yourself and you're owning your individuality of being that little different snowflake and just knowing that you're unstoppable and you can find power within it, then you're going to wreck it. So that's what I'm about. And I'm about finding out the positives in the situation. So when people don't like my content or they don't like content that I like, I'm just thinking that's okay. Maybe they have things that I don't like and other people are really, really digging it, and that's okay. Isn't it cool that we all have choices? Now, I'm going to hop off of here and I am going to start cleaning my freaking house so I can get ready for my kids to be home so I can be intentional, because I have a list of shit I got to get done. And for me, I'm one of those people where it's like, oh, lists aren't very fun, but I'm a habitual list maker because afterwards I feel so accomplished and I'm like, pat on the back, good job, girl, we did it. We're so productive today. We deserve a glass of wine. So before I get my glass of wine, I have to create the list, finish the list. The list is already created. Finish the list. And then we get wine time. So we get treated after that, hang out with the kiddos. And Dad's going to pick them up today. And it's going to be a fabulously spooky evening. Bye, guys. Definitely shoot me any questions. And I'm still receiving emails from people's spooky pictures. They're so cool. And they're so exciting just seeing everyone's different pictures and experiences and costumes. And trick-or-treating is on a whole different type of level for some people. Y'all are really getting into it. I feel like I'm super amateur when it comes to my costumes and stuff after some of the things that I have seen. So keep them coming. Finance with Allie. ALLIE is how you spell Allie with the finance with Allie at gmail.com. And I appreciate all of the love. And I appreciate everybody checking out the podcast. Until next time.